Alright, so it's been a while since the last time I've posted, and it was a video titled something like Reality is a Simulation. It was the part 1, and this will be the part 2. So what was covered in the previous one was things like video games, simulations, the brain hemispheres, the two parts of the brain, concurrent lives, computers, AI, and multi-threading, things like that. And what's going to be included in this video are, first of all, video game props or positives, because video games often get a bad rep and a bad impression from a lot of people. And the second thing is why I stopped video games I like. The third, actually there's no specific order of these things. I'm gonna be talking about a lot of concepts in this video again. I'm gonna talk about visualizing and how the subconscious give cues, other things as well. So it's going to be a lot of packed information. Okay, so let's start by gaming props. The first game that props should be given to, even though it seems unrelated, again, is chess, Go, and medical research. So Go is a type of a board game. It's not a video game like the computer ones, but these are very old games that are inspired by strategy, war maybe, which is a negative thing, yet have inspired big research in AI and medical research, because when AI was able to beat humans in these two games, which again seems to be games that can be productive, like you're playing chess or Go, how can that be productive in other aspects of life? Yet this is something that gave researchers confidence to tackle other problems, medical problems. So there's something called AlphaFold, and it has been doing some revolutionary findings in medicine. And so that's the first way video games should be given props to, or games in general. Also, automations in cars. So if it weren't for the massive production of video games related to cars, and not just cars, the GTA video game, which is very famous, it's not just about cars, but yet those games, they actually, it's written in here, let me find it. Yeah, realistic simulation and graphic processing. So this part was already ready through video games related to cars, that when AI arrived, it didn't need to be having the expertise in creating these car simulations, was already built through video games related to cars. That's another props to video games. Yeah, and another one is Dota and ChatGPT. So OpenAI is the company that created ChatGPT, and if you go back into their YouTube channel, you're going to find that at a certain point of the projects that they were posting about on YouTube, very early in their YouTube posting, it was about Dota. which is a video game that resembles League of Legends, which is more popular, I guess. Dota being a more US version of League of Legends. And yeah, this is a lyric from a song that is very famous related to Dota. So yeah, you can see how advancements in AI are very linked to video games. But yeah, now I'm going to talk about the gaming flops, and it's one thing, which is war. And before I continue talking about the gaming flops, I just want to say that there is a lot of activities or simulations where you can have fun without simulating life destruction. So even though I really enjoyed playing video games like Battlefield, Call of Duty, all these first-person shooters, there's a moment where you start wondering if you're not enjoying something that shouldn't have place in the first place. Not in a... Now, this could be seen as soft or soy boyish or whatever, but I understand that war is a part of a cycle. Again, there's a lot of activities of fun that doesn't involve destruction. Okay, so the saying usually goes, let's keep war out of our world and in our games. That's an argument that you can find. But our thoughts manifest reality, especially when it's collective thoughts. So be cautious of what you enjoy and what you join, what reality Transurfing Vadim Zeland, author, talks about as pendulums. This is a pendulum, basically, of enjoying war simulations. Again, if you enjoy shooting stuff, you can do it, but not in a simulation that's based on stylish ways of shooting people or something like that. And I don't want to over talk about that stuff. So yeah, now that I've talked about how what are gaming flops, which basically war only, that's what I see as gaming flops. And as your thoughts manifest reality, and as this video is going to be about a lot of concepts, you gotta remember that you are limitless and that the threads of thinking you indulge in manifest your reality. So what I've written here is that threads of positive thinking through gratitude can lead you to other unexpected positive threads of thoughts or life experiences if that eventually manifest. So sometimes when I don't have a solution to a problem, I still keep a positive, grateful attitude towards it. I have some affirmations that I repeat, even though the solution to the problem seems completely unreachable at that moment, but I'm just grateful for always finding the solution to that problem or to the problems similar to that. And so now I'm going to talk about vision boards and visualizations, because gratitude is one thing to reach your goals and manifest your desired reality. But this part, which is vision boards specifically, sometimes I did visualizations, but visualizations and gratefulness, remaining grateful as much as possible. The vision board thing is something that I didn't want to use because of the following reasons. Not to spoil you, but let me see. Okay, so there's two types of manifestations that are known to me for right now. The first one is the ones you keep inside your heart and you never express them physically to keep them unconditional. They happen and you have no way or proof to be like, yeah, I was definitely thinking that, but it happens. I've already talked extensively about this in other videos. The neuroplasticity of the brain related to manifestation and stuff like that. The second one is the ones that you will put in a vision board to remind yourself. Because this one is difficult since the first one is difficult because you ought to forget if you don't have a habit of visualizing the things that you want at night, for instance. Maybe one night you would be visualizing something that you want to achieve that is different than the second night, and your thoughts will be dispersed. But if you put that in a vision board, you will be always reminded of what you want. Either way, it has its pros and cons. And what I did basically, and there's a specific way to visualize, which I'm not gonna tell you exactly what it is because I don't claim to know exactly how it is, but I know some stuff about it. So what I did is that I put some of the realities that I want to manifest in a picture, and sometimes I Photoshop, for instance, my fingers or my hands, or I don't know, things related to me and in a certain reality, things that makes those pictures specific to me. And then I put that photoshopped vision board into ChatGPT and I ask it to make it in a Simpson style because they seem to have some reason why their drawings, their cartoon or whatever their series is manifesting things and predicting stuff. So yeah, that's a little secret. You can do that through ChatGPT. So you take the photoshopped images, as I told you, that you wanna manifest, and you turn them into Simpson style with the help of ChatGPT. Just ask it, import the images that you photoshopped with details specific to you, and then ask ChatGPT to give it to you in Simpson style, for instance. And if you really wanna push it, you can broadcast that into millions of views and maybe it will manifest easier, because the collective can manifest. It doesn't require each one of the collective huge energy to manifest things that are broadcasted. But for you to do that, you have to back that vision board with a certain feeling. And yeah, so in this disclaimer, there's the outcome where you could be like, well, what if this visualization stuff doesn't work and I don't end up manifesting what I visualized in the vision board that I made to remind myself to always visualize. So let's say not even 10 minutes, let's say just wait. So your 10-second vision inside of your potentially even more, why not, your 100-year lifetime. So a 10-second vision inside a 100-year lifetime. If that visualization or that vision in your visualization doesn't manifest, even though you've backed your visualization with the right feeling, well, it doesn't mean that it didn't happen elsewhere in a different timeline. So your visualizations are experiences in different timelines, whether inside of a fully fledged realized lifetime like the one you're experiencing right now in your 3D, or one that's just static, nobody has access to and it's too distant, or one you will succeed in connecting to. All of these threads of thoughts, they exist, and that's what the visualization worry should be thought about with that those experiences, they exist in the ether because you just visualized them. And visualization should be worth the time either way. If it doesn't work, who cares? You're supposed to have enjoyed that visualizing time anyways. And sometimes I visualize stuff and the next day it becomes boring, so I don't want to do it. But if you're not reminded of it every day, then you wouldn't know that it was going to be a boring thing in the first place. So yeah, visualization with vision boards is great too, even though it's specific. So what I used to do, as I told you, is practicing gratitude, and there's a fly. Gratitude I'm not grateful for this fly. So I used to be grateful, and when I ever try to visualize something, I leave it in specific. But now, recently, I've added vision boards. So yeah, with that said, Vadim Zeland, the writer of the book Reality Transurfing, which is a big book, I've talked about it a lot in this channel, and he speaks about having slides, if I remember correctly, because again, it was a big book. Slides are ready. It's like visualizations that are very ready. You've already prepared them, and once you have an intrusive thoughts or an experience that pops up in your head that you don't want to relate to, you have this slide that is ready, and then you visualize it. And sort of my the way I understand it is as if you link this slide that you've practiced over and over again with a negative intrusive thoughts, say short circuit kind of thing. And another thing that is present in the book Reality Transurfing is that, so even though lucid dreams are very real and vivid when you experience them, the author says that they don't manifest reality. So you can be having a dream of being in a certain hotel, a lucid dream in a certain hotel, for instance, very luxurious hotel in, I'm giving just in China, okay? So you're having a lucid dream of being in a luxurious hotel in China. That doesn't mean that that lucid dream will manifest as vivid and as lucid as it felt, because lucid dreaming helps make you happier, and it helps make you unspecifically chill with whatever is happening, but it doesn't mean that it's going to manifest the way the known manifestation work, the miraculous way, because when you're lucid dreaming, you're often, as said by the author Vadim Zeland, you're often in a faraway sector of reality, too far away from your current reality. And in contrast to that, lucid dreaming, which is very vivid, doesn't manifest, but pain can manifest. And this theme is present in many books, many spiritual teachings, that if you can see positive while going through a negative experience, then that's going to manifest in miraculous ways. If you can see, for instance, abundance in circumstances of non-abundance or other emotional experience, then that is going to manifest miraculously, even in ways that you won't understand. That's what I'm trying to say. That lucid dreaming doesn't manifest in ways you don't understand. Okay, so we've spoken about this. Now, this in relation to Islam, the using pen and manifesting, drawing stuff and expecting that to happen, all of that. What is the take of a religion that I adhere to? And I'm not an expert by any means, but I would expect that if there was something that should be wrong in doing, like you're going to manifest the Simpson way, this could be this could have some unexpected turnings. But in the Islamic book, which is a very strict religion, so if there was something not to do, it would be there, is that the pen surah, it doesn't speak about these things. One of the things that it speaks about is how some men, they were so calculated with the way they used their money and they refused to give charity, that they lost all they had, and they were so regretful over if they only gave charity. That's what the pen surah in Islam talks about. So yeah, I think that visualizing and writing your goals this way isn't something that could go wrong. One last thing on this video is the subconscious cues. So I told previously on the previous video about how I get intrusive thoughts or nostalgic thoughts, maybe is a better word, because I don't deem that those thoughts are negative in any way, but it's a Romanian server of Counter-Strike, and it pops in my head from time to time. And I just want to say that the subconscious can sometimes give cues to us that we can't understand in our current level of understanding. So maybe my subconscious is trying to tell me go to Romania, or that I'm going to be a future gypsy, or that I am a gypsy. I don't know, because gypsies were in Romania, and this is just a silly example, but sometimes, for instance, you could have a health issue, and the subconscious cues will intensify with the health issue intensifying. And if you ignore the cues that the subconscious sometimes give you, you might not find the solution. So the subconscious can give you the solution, but you would ignore it. So just pay attention to your subconscious when the health issue or whatever issue that the subconscious is trying to help you with come up, that you won't understand it or know how to interpret it, but just try, or ask ChatGPT, or I don't know. So yeah, if you've made it this far, I wanna inform you that making these videos require a little bit of preparation. I've made a lot of presentation in my late teenager years in university, and they were always stressful. Now I'm not as stressed as I am when I used to present in front of the school. By the way, I've made a lot of presentations and it never got easier. Some people, they get better at them, or at least stress less, but I don't think that the stress was related to the frequency of doing public speaking, at least for me. Or maybe some do them every day, twice a day, stuff like that. That is different. But what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, I am no longer as stressed making these videos as I was in the beginning of making this channel. Yet this still involves a little bit of preparation, which I'm in a phase of, I'm in a productivity hustle phase. That's it. And there's still some videos that I need to make, and I have no other inspiration of another video to make other than those. So unless you see one of these three, or the three of these, then I'm still going to be posting. So yeah, expect these, and thank you for watching. See you on the next video.